Just 10 minutes flying time away.
Control, fly heading 090, be vectoring for the ILS.
Roger, Midland 92, descending flight level 120.
8:10 p.m.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Captain Kevin Hunt. Maybe where we've had a problem with the aeroplane.
The captain goes on the intercom to calm his 118 passengers and to tell them he shut down the malfunctioning engine.
We are unfortunately therefore unable to continue our flight into Belfast.
He says they'll be safely on the ground in 10 minutes.
There should be perfectly routine landing, and as I say.
Gareth Jones is relieved to see that the problem engine has stopped throwing out sparks. He's convinced the captain now has everything under control. 8:17 p.m. The aircraft descends through 2,000 meters. They're 8 minutes from touchdown.
So 160, flight level 40.
1 minute later, air traffic control tells Captain Hunt to make a right turn to line up with the runway.
Midland 092, descend to altitude 3,000 feet.
Midland 92, descend altitude 3,000 feet. Shown.
They're on final approach. The cabin crew take their seats for the remaining few minutes. .20 p.m. Another, even louder bang rocks the aircraft. The passengers realize that the noise must come from the plane's last remaining engine.
The whole plane shook. It was like something touched the plane and stopped it in midair. And at that point, frankly, my blood just went cold.
Now there are more vibrations, worse than ever.
Vibration was incredible. It was almost impossible for me to focus on Chris, who was sitting in the seat beside me. And I remember thinking, if this keeps vibrating like this, the aircraft is going to fall apart.
I can remember being absolutely terrified, not really knowing what was going on.
Gear down.
Gear down.
And flat 15.
Air traffic control clears Captain Hunt to descend to 600 meters.
Final approach speed.
They must get the plane down and fast before their last engine fails altogether.
Frost is going. Tell them we've got a problem with the other engine.
Then, everything goes silent. The plane's last engine has given out. The passengers now know they're going down.
I actually can't remember the noise of wind going by the plane, just this sort of rushing sound. And the plane then dropped. It started just to go down, like going over the top of a roller coaster.
I remember thinking to myself, well, there's nothing you can do about it. If him upstairs wants to take you now...
Captain Hunt has lost both engines. With no forward thrust, the plane is now fighting a losing battle with gravity.
66210 knots.
Hunt orders the first officer to try to restore power. McClelland begins the re-ignition sequence, but they're losing height rapidly. Now the left engine catches fire.
Fire. Should I do the fire drill? She's not going.
The 737 is dropping out of the sky. Captain Hunt's control column starts to shake violently. The ground proximity warning system tells him he's coming down too quickly. The pilots can see the airport runway lights less than 2 kilometers away. But there are more lights closer to the plummeting plane. The lights of the M1 motorway, the UK's major north-south artery. If they crash on the motorway, the death toll could be horrendous. But Captain Hunt is all out of options. The ground is coming up fast.
Somebody on board said, Jesus, we're all going to die.
8:24 p.m. British Midland Flight 092 is just 1 minute from East Midlands Airport. Captain Captain Hunt can see the runway lights, but he's lost both engines, and one's on fire. His only hope, to keep the aircraft airborne long enough to crash land on the runway. The passengers haven't heard from the captain for 10 minutes, but they know they're going to crash.
Stupid thoughts go through your head, like who's going to cut the grass. Part of your brain is saying, this plane's crashing, and part of it was saying, it can't be, because it doesn't happen.
Now Captain Hunt can see the village of Kegworth. Desperate to avoid crashing into it, he raises the nose to stretch the glide. The 737 passes over the village at an altitude of just 60 meters.
Where have I noticed what I think was a church spire, which actually went by the window. And I sort of thought, a church spire going past the window, I'm in a plane.
But beyond Kegworth lies the M1 motorway. If Captain Hunt can get across this 6-lane road, the safety of the runway is just 900 meters away.
Get that. Just stop the other one. Get it going.
She's not going.
Get it up.
She's not going.
But he can't keep the plane airborne any longer. He makes a final announcement to the terrified passengers.
She's not going, Kevin.
Prepare for crash landing. Prepare for crash landing.
And he said, brace, 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 prepare for crash landing. And the tone of his voice said it all. I can remember going into the brace position and just thinking, this is it.
Just before the plane hit the ground, I remember thinking, nobody survives a plane crash. I wonder, will I?
"30 meters before the motorway, the tail section hits the ground and bounces back into the air. The plane smashes through trees near the edge of the motorway.
It was horrendous. It just seemed to go on forever. It sort of sucked the breath out of you.
It careens across the road, destroying a light on the central reservation. The aircraft slams into the embankment on the far side of the M1 and breaks into 3.
I just remember being crushed and crushed, and then nothing. Total silence.
It comes to rest just 900 meters from the safety of the runway. Captain Hunt made it across the motorway, just. Incredibly, no cars are passing at the moment of the crash. Inside the wreckage of the 737's middle section, Gareth Jones and his fellow passenger Teresa are alive. They're sitting over the wing, the strongest part of the aircraft. Gareth is not even badly hurt. He cannot believe his luck, but the danger isn't over yet.
When I opened my eyes, I could see the little bush that was on fire and thought, hang on, this is dangerous. We're right over the wing's full of fuel. We'd better get out of this place pretty quick.
It's a miracle the plane's 5,000 plus litres of aviation fuel haven't caught fire. But the fuel is now pouring out of the damaged wings, and one of the engines is still in flames. If the fuel ignites, Gareth and any other survivors will have little chance. Having lived through an air crash, they could still burn to death. Gareth desperately pulls the emergency door handle, but it won't open.
Fortunately, I remember